equipped, empowered, poised, and positioned to move those who are ready to move is my ultimate mission. I wake up every day determined to make a difference in my assigned place because you see, my purpose, my passion, and my focus is to take you from where you are to where you want to be. I am Pamela Lue-Hing with Powerhouse Unlimited LLC, better known as Coach P. And I am so very excited to be with you this morning. So we're going to just go ahead and dive right on in. I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay, as we talk about how to move from a disability to a dynamic, unstoppable force. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So if you're ready to learn how to move from a disability to becoming a dynamic, unstoppable force, I need you to go ahead and put ready in the chat. Okay, go ahead, put ready in the comments. So I want to go ahead and thank Women Helping Women Entrepreneurs, Miss Christina Rowe, for this phenomenal opportunity for me to come before you today. I'll be coming before you every single Monday at 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So please mark your calendars for the Coach Show with Coach P. That's what I'll be doing for you every single Monday. Again, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So again, Ms. Christina Rowe, thank you so much for this incredible opportunity to come and share as we share on Women Helping Women Entrepreneurs. As we know, when we can help another woman, we can change generation after generation after generation. So it gives me much, I'm humbled, but it gives me much joy to come before you to share with you my expertise. And so I tell you what, as a coach, sometimes it can be really, really tough to move past your own challenges, can't it? Move past those challenges in order to be the best that we can possibly be, not just for our clients, but for ourselves, and for ourselves, number one. So in that challenge, we're searching, we're trying to figure it out. And so I'm going to talk to you today again about how to figure it out, how to move, especially when you have a disability. How do you move from that disability to becoming that unstoppable force? And so with that being said, it's incredibly important to make sure that we understand that all of us have something that we're dealing with, okay? We all have something, whether that disability be a physical disability that we've dealt with since birth, or perhaps there is a disability that we have acquired along the way, right? That has happened, something that's happened to us along the way in the form of a disability. Or sometimes the disability is not what we see, but it's inside of us, right? A disability such as depression. Depression can be a disability, or other types of internal disabilities that we deal with, health challenges that we don't see that people are having. It's a disability, right? Anything that stops us from moving forward to moving into action and from being productive is a disability. And so it's important that we realize that all of us have something, and maybe it's stinking thinking. Stinking thinking can be a disability too, right? Where we really, really have subjected ourselves to thoughts that don't or have not served us well. That too can be a disability. And so that's what I want to talk to you about today, how to move from a disability, no matter what your disability is, to a dynamic, unstoppable force. And as a coach, I always want to encourage you, whenever you do training, whenever you participate in any of the trainings here on the platform or in any other trainings, I always want you to I want to encourage you to look at the information that you're receiving from two lenses, and actually really three lenses. And in particular day, the lens that I'm talking about is for your own growth and development, but it is, number one, personal development, right? But as a coach, when we're working with clients, I want you to look at information from two lenses. One is as a transformational coach. How can I take this information and apply it to my methodologies in terms of my coaching and impacting and transforming my clients? But then the next lens that I want you to really look view information through is as a CEO. How can I take this information and implement it into the methodologies that I'm currently using so that I can make more of an impact with my clients? So who is Coach P? Who is Coach P? I'm a brand new standout member, and I'm so excited to be here on the campus with you. I'm really, really, truly excited. I have a BA in Communications Public Relations from Wayne State University in Detroit, Michigan. Ladies, I have over 25 years in strategic planning, over 30 years in leadership and personal leadership development and sales. I am and have been a certified Christian life coach for the past 11 years now. I'm a master coach for life and business coaches. I'm a speaker, and I am an author of 7 publications. And so it's truly a blessing to be before you to share my knowledge and expertise with you. I help early stage life or business coaches get unstuck and eliminate the overwhelm so they can coach with confidence and build profitable coaching businesses by transforming themselves and getting client results. So that's what I do. And my primary focus is to really help develop coaches in 3 areas. Number 1 is coaching. And again, I talked to you about the 2 lenses, one being the coach, but then the CEO coach, right? The coach as a CEO and running the business. So working on your business and then working in your business. I also train and focus in on personal development for coaches, as well as leadership development. So in those 3 core competencies is where we focus. So again, that's coaching development, personal development, and leadership development. So what else do? I shared with you that I am an author, and I'm also, again, a speaker. And this is me on the stage of Lisa Nichols. I don't know if you know Lisa Nichols and who she is, but she is a world-renowned transformational speaker, a transformational coach, and she is my coach. And I have been in many of her programs, and I have learned a tremendous amount from her, not just about speaking, but about life and personal development. And so here I am speaking, and I had an opportunity. I was blessed to be asked to speak and share my story with her audience. And there were upwards of between 500 to 700 some people in the room, but then there were thousands of people all over the world watching. And I shared how I had been downsized 3 times and how I took that lemon and created the lemonade, right? And I wrote a book called Pink Slip to Powerhouse, 12 Steps to Next. And that book then morphed into a workbook and a book of quotes and a journal. And it, in that moment, ladies, what it did for me in sharing my story, it blew me away because of what happened next. When I finished, as soon as I finished, people jumped to their feet. There was not anybody else sitting down in that room. Everybody jumped to their feet, cheering for me, clapping for me. There were people with tissues all over the room. And it was really just a moment in time. But I didn't stand there like I'm standing right now. What happened in a moment that you did not see is you saw Lisa behind me. Lisa, actually, I turned around as soon as I finished to give the mic back to her. And she told me, no, go. And I was trying to figure out what she was saying. I was like, oh my goodness, I know, I don't want to take up any more time. No, go. She was saying, turn back around, look, see, take in this moment. She was telling me, take in this moment. And so my sisters, I was standing there and I turned back around. And as you see me looking to the left, and then I looked out and someone caught this from the back of the stage. Again, you see everybody standing and cheering for me, like for little old me. And in this moment, what I want to share with you is that what I was feeling as the tears rolled down my face. I couldn't believe that I had completed that, first of all, right? But the biggest thing that I really was grappling with was I didn't feel like I belonged there. Like, how me? Like I was qualified enough to be in that moment with all of these people cheering, and they just kept going and going and going, right? And so in that moment is when I realized I've got a lot of work to do. So to be, an author, to be a speaker, to be a master coach, that's great. And I'm thankful. I thank God for those accomplishments, but it hasn't always been there, right? And this is when I realized I had to do a lot of personal development because I was dealing with something. What was that something that was keeping me from embracing that very moment? What was that something? Ladies, my disability is ADHD. And just recently, I really I was diagnosed as an adult, but I really have been pushing it back into the rear view mirror in my head, or I shouldn't say the rear view, back in the rear, and trying not to really, really acknowledge it. But what I found was I still continue to battle with it. I mean, battle with it, because when you have ADHD, your mind is going all the time, and you're dealing with so many thoughts at one time. It's difficult, very, very difficult to focus in. And so that's been happening time and time and time again, right, in my life. And even, I've been in therapy. I firmly believe in therapists to keep me on top of my game for myself as well as for my clients. And so I have been really, really grappling with that ADHD. And so I was in a meeting with my accountability partner. We meet every week, and I shared my ADHD with her. She says, "Wow, Pam, you've accomplished so much, and you did it with that." She was like, "Now there are people out there who need to know, how did you do that?" And so that's why I chose to share this message with you today. I also have this spirit of perfectionism. Anybody else like that out there? Go ahead, put in comments. Perfectionism. Everything just has to be so. So imagine this. I got yin and yang in my head. ADHD saying go, 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 go. And then there's perfectionism. Perfectionism. It has to be so. Can you imagine being perfect in all those different areas all at one time? Impossible. That's why imposter syndrome. That's what I was dealing with standing on that stage. So it's like, what in the world? How am I going to deal with this, right? How am I going to keep moving forward? How am I going to change the trajectory of my thoughts so that I can own that stage? So I can own when I have another opportunity to own, and not just being on that stage, but any time I have an impact, to be able to own that and be okay and stand in my success, right? What does that really look like? So that's what we're going to talk to you today about, how to move from that disability to that dynamic, unstoppable force. So I'm going to give you an acronym. It's called ACT. The A is for acknowledge it. First of all, we've got to be able to acknowledge what the disability is. So call it out. Don't hide. I hid from it. I didn't do the work required to understand how it had really impacted my life. Okay, so that's acknowledge it. Next, then we want to research. So then I started researching so that I could better understand what it is I was really grappling with, right? So once we research that, then we've got to accept it. So we want to accept it in a way that we say, okay, we're going to be hanging out for the rest of our lives. So we might as well figure out how to get along, right? And so it really is that type of conversation. So what is it that I need to do to be able to compensate for it, to make time for it? For instance, I am a caregiver for my mom. And so I have my coaching business, and then I have my mom, and I have myself to care for, and I have adult children, right? They're on their own. However, it's a lot to manage in a day's time, especially when you're dealing with the disability. And so what I had to do was, in my research and trying to figure out how do I deal with this, I had to work to get extremely organized, okay, and really take a look at the habits that I had every single day. So the next thing is you want to create a plan. So once you acknowledge it, then you've got to create a plan. So I did the research, and now you got to create a plan that serves you and the disability well. We can't exclude the disability, right? We've got to include the disability so that we can take an account of what that disability needs in order for us to operate at the highest level. So we got to make room for it, y'all. We got to say, hey, scooch over. I'm coming through. I'm here to stay. So let's work this thing together. Okay. You want to be able to extend grace to yourself. Make sure that you give yourself grace and give yourself time right? So if you have a physical disability and you know that you require a certain amount of time to prepare yourself for the day or whatever the case may be, then do that. For me, it's all about organization. Someone who battles with ADHD has to be extremely organized. Okay, so it takes a lot of focus to be able to organize. And so that's an area that I found that I had to really work on and create my plan. So that's part of my plan, is that working on more organization. Okay, so lastly, we want to take control. So once we've acknowledged it, we have created the plan. Now we want to take control. So then how do we take control? Again, I already talked about focusing on habits, the habits that serve us well and serve our disability well, whatever that disability might be. If you're there and you're dealing with depression, okay, I've dealt with depression. So I understand what it's like to be in that dark space, right? I also know what it's like to come out of that dark space and what's required. It takes work, and it's a lifelong work. If you've ever battled with depression, or if you've ever battled with any type of disability, it really is a lifelong work, and it takes a shift, a paradigm shift in our thinking, right, in order for us to go to the next level. And each time we achieve in our businesses, and each time for every level of success, there's another requirement of learning, right, and of growing. So then we can go to yet another level of success. But what meets us there is another requirement. We've got to accommodate that disability, making sure that we do that, making sure that we're giving ourselves grace, making sure that we're focused on doing the things that serve us well. And then I would encourage you to get an accountability partner. Accountability partners are so very important. That's the reason why I'm actually talking about this with you today. And I hope and pray that, hey, at least one person that this message blesses today, because it's just so important to have someone who holds you accountable, because you need someone who can step outside of you, right? It allows you, it's almost like being in a forest, right? You can't see the forest for the trees because you're inside the forest and surrounded by all the trees. But what an accountability partner does is that person will allow you to step outside of the forest. They will see it for you, even if you can't see it yourself. And they hold you accountable. That's what accountability partners are. They hold each other accountable to what they say they're going to do and who they say they are and what they want to become. Okay, that's what an accountability partner does. And so it's important that you get an accountability partner. It's also important that you spend concentrated time on your self-care. So spending time nurturing yourself, not beating yourself up, being gentle with yourself, right? I have to be so gentle with myself. Why? Because the perfectionism in me wants to beat myself up because it's not perfect, right? So yin and yang have some battles some days, right? But I say to myself, Pam, calm down, acknowledge it. It's here to stay. So what are you going to do about it? You're going to go back to your list, organize, right? I talk to myself and stay on task, right? So that's a part of my self-care. That's a part of me caring for my mental being, my psychological being, okay? Even my emotional, it impacts my emotions. And if you've dealt with anything from the past, perhaps you've been bullied in the past or dealt with, some other type of trauma in your life, you couple that might be a disability as well. Okay, but if you have a disability on top of that disability, then there's a lot of work that has to be done, right? So we got to spend concentrated time on that self-care. And one of the greatest tools that I have found is journaling. So I would encourage you to journal the journey. Journal the journey as you identify identify and acknowledge what that disability is, create a plan for that disability, and then take control. Most importantly, take control. Today is the day that you take control. So if you're dealing with anything, that's a disability. Okay, if it stopped you from making progress, and if you confront it and it hits you every time, and it's causing an issue in other areas, and there's a domino effect, okay, such as an ADHD, there's a domino effect. if I don't stay organized and all over the place. There's a domino effect, right? Wouldn't you agree with that? Put in comments. Anybody, at least one person out there relate to that? Okay. So it's very important that we take control. And so that is and that is how we move from that disability to that dynamic, unstoppable force. And so what I want to share with you is this. I have an opportunity coming up on this coming Thursday. And on this Thursday, there is a masterclass. It's a 90-minute masterclass. It's called the Nuts and Bolts of Coaching Growth Masterclass, how to turn your expertise and passion into a profitable coaching program. And so who is this masterclass for? It is for those life or business coaches who feel stuck, right? It is for those life or business coaches who are overwhelmed and are like, I need some clarity and I need to know, what do I do next? Okay. So if that is you, I want to invite you to join me this Thursday, again, March 17th at 7 p.m. Okay. At 7 p.m. I want you to join me, and I'm going to show you how to identify your ideal clients, which is going to give you so much clarity. I'm going to show you how to package your brilliance, expertise, and your passion in simple steps. And I'm going to show you the key ingredients to becoming a successful coach. So you don't want to miss it. You want to be in the house. So please get registered today. This is the scan. So go ahead and say, scan me. Go ahead and put your phone up to the scan. Be sure to scan it. I'm also going to put it in comments so that you have the link to get registered. And again, it's a 90-minute free masterclass this Thursday, March 17th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I definitely look forward to seeing you there. And I look forward to seeing you on next Monday, which the topic is going to be the secret sauce of being a great coach. Okay, the secret sauce of being a great coach. So you don't want to miss it. I look forward to seeing you there. And not only are we going to talk about the secret sauce of being a great coach, but a great transformational leader. That's what we're going to talk about. Transformational leadership. Okay, transformational leadership. So how do we, again, become a great coach? And then how do we lead in transformation and teach people how to transform their lives? How do we do that? So we're going to talk about that again on next Monday. So I look forward to seeing you there. I am committed to your success because your success is truly my success. I definitely look forward to seeing you. I'm going to go ahead and stop the share now. I look forward to seeing you on this coming Thursday. Please go ahead and get registered. And I look forward to seeing you on next Monday on the Coach to Coach show with Coach P. I look forward to seeing you then. Make it a great week.